social media investigations.
Travel to the heart of America.
With Americast, a BBC podcast. Listen on BBC Sounds.
It's the first Prime Minister's Questions for more than a month, with Keir Starmer under pressure over the collapse of the Chinese spy case. Hello, I'm Vicky Young and welcome to Politics Live. Joining me today, the CEO and founder of electrical retailer AO World, John Roberts, the leader of Plaid Cymru, Rhina Piorath, Labour MP Rachel Blake, and our political editor Chris Mason is here to bring us the latest on the China spy saga. Also today...
Mr Speaker, that's £1 billion to repair bridges, tunnels and flyovers across the country and £92 billion in major road and rail upgrades. Mr Speaker, we're rebuilding Britain. They can't even spell it.
We're going to leave Prime Minister's Questions there, but we will bring you any significant developments if they happen in the next few minutes as that comes to an end. Now, I'd like to welcome my guests for this part of the programme, the Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy, the Shadow Transport Secretary, Richard Holden, and our Chief Political Correspondent, Henry Zeffman, who is with us too. Now, Henry, I'm going to give you the delightful task of assessing that story. The case against them collapsed. They had been accused of spying for China. Now, this is getting incredibly detailed, isn't it now? The row between Kemi Badenoch and Keir Starmer there about what's going on.
It is detailed.
Why should they care about this? You're suggesting that there was political interference in an important case, but there's no proof of that, is there?
Well, this is the situation. In April 2024, these guys were charged. Recently, these charges have been dropped and the case has basically collapsed. Something material happened during that space. Really big questions here.
Well, both the men, of course, we must say again, did deny any wrongdoing. So, Lisa, the allegation there is you're going soft on China and there was political interference in this case.
Yeah, so look, I think there has been a very live and very important debate about our relationship with China. It started under the previous government, where there were many people, including me, saying that the last government was far too relaxed about the challenges and the threats posed by China, and it continues under this government. But what is absolutely absurd is this row about what evidence was presented by government officials to the Crown Prosecution Service, because it all happened under the last government. You heard that from the Prime Minister. The leader of the opposition is alleging a cover-up and demanding information. It's all information that happened when she was a cabinet minister serving in the last government, as were you, Rick. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. If you want to become clean about whether there was any political interference, that is up to you. No, this all happened on your watch.
Well, can we just actually what you said, Lisa? I know it might be your briefing, but it's factually untrue. As we've already said, 2 further updates were given as witness statements under this government, under your government, which you sit in the cabinet of. We were very clear. When I was in the cabinet, these guys were charged.
Do you know what?
Under your government, while you're sitting in the cabinet,
we are going to see that witness statement. We are going to see that witness statement.
Firstly, I would love it if you'd got as exercised about the very many problems facing the country, including the last government's completely relaxed attitude towards China, as you have just sitting on the sofa.
We literally have. We literally have. Can we just be very clear about this?
You carry on.
Keep
digging.
You've literally sent a trade delegation with Rachel Reeves to China within the last few months, and then you accuse us of not having a hard approach when we were the ones who charged these guys. You let them off.
Right, let's just talk about...
Just calm down for a moment.
Because
this is important. It's like the national security of our country.
I know, but you're literally just sitting on a sofa shouting like an angry man in a pub.
I don't think that's fair.
I don't think
it's true.
Okay, but can you stop doing that so that I can just answer the question? Because
I'm not doing that.
The decision to charge was made under your government while you were serving in the cabinet.
That's right.
So was
we charged them.
Made by the CPS under your government. If you want to be clear about where the fault lies, look in the mirror.
That is totally untrue. Actually, the CPS have been very clear. In 2023, came forward to say China is a real and substantive threat. I do not understand Can you just
Can
tell us?
Can I just challenge that?
Well,
Because
once more,
I
and then I
was
want to
one
ask
of
a
the
broader question.
parliamentarians, along with many members of parliament on your own backbenches, who were challenging the last government's approach to China.
well-
You've had your party political broadcast. I think you might do well to just listen and learn something for a moment, because you clearly weren't paying attention to it at the time, which is how we ended up in this mess. But the challenge that we had was that your government published a strategic defence review.
Right, those are clear lines from under the last government as to the view of China on a security level.
Okay, can I just say I want a question for both of you.
Well, it is true. It is true. And are you denying that the security minister said that in the House of Commons?
Said what?
So
Sorry,
that China is
I
a threat in the
genuinely
House of
can't
Commons.
follow you.
Right, I want to, Lisa, I want to ask both of you, because both. Because
It's quite obvious. It's great obfuscation, but it totally.
No, sorry,
it totally
I'm happy,
misses the issue.
Rick,
Just
I'm happy
hold on
to
one
answer your question,
second.
but you're going to have to stop talking. Just what is your question?
April 2024,
Yeah.
in the House of Commons, the security minister said that China is a threat. The government's response to the ISC report, 2023, is a threat. Do you understand that those things, the last government did say on security issues, China is a threat?
But you're the leader of the opposition. Your
No,
party
do you accept
leader.
that or not?
Sorry, your party leader
I mean,
said.
you said you answered the question.
She said, "I will not use that sort of language."
You know you've-
we need
Rick,
to be
can I
careful
ask you-
about the language
so
we
now,
use.
Richard,
I do
you've
not
got
regard
to let
China as
Lisa
a
speak.
foe or a threat. That's what she said.
There's totally out of context, and it's not in the threat. It's not in the context of the security concerns. It's not in a security in context of security concerns.
Right, well,
which
I'm
we read,
going to just one
at
second.
the time, and we've got no
Okay,
idea
okay.
what the government is saying.
Okay.
now.
Well,
We've
tell
no
us,
idea.
because you were the
Right,
government.
both
So
of you.
tell us.
What is the government's? Why is
Both
it
of you,
changed?
I
Why
want
is-
to
why
ask
is
a
it changed?
broader question.
Charging
I want to
decision
ask a
for the
broader
CPS.
question.
No, the
And
CPS made a charging decision.
I'll tell you why
So
it
what's
changed.
changed?
Right, Henry.
I'll explain this to you one last time. The
you be very
reason that it
brief?
changed is because the threshold that was set out in the laws that you presided over and dragged your feet on changing for 8 years was not met.
That's not true.
That law has
This is
now
just
been
simply untrue.
changed. If the charges had been brought later, they would have had a chance of succeeding, but it took you 8 years to update the
the
law.
CPS have not said that. This is brand new information put forward by the Secretary of State
Right.
today. That the CPS,
I want to
she's saying that they would not have charged.
We will
them
come back to
under
that in
the
one
government.
second.
It's absolutely, this is totally
Having
brand new
seen
information.
kind of
Really
nervous
interesting.
Henry,
breakdown
just
on
in terms of relationships with China, because this is not the first government that has struggled with relationships with China. We've seen it over very many governments of different colours, about how you deal with a country that is obviously economically so important